Thank you, Dr Gohani. I now call Colette Stevenson to be followed by Carol Mochan. Ms Stevenson.
Thank you, Presiding Officer, and I'm grateful to Paul O'Kane for bringing this debate to the Chamber. And I want to pay tribute also to Marie Curie and the University of Glasgow for their Dying in the Margins project, and of course to everyone who took part. The research and the associated photography exhibition, The Cost of Dying, highlight in such a moving way the experiences of living in poverty with a terminal illness. Presiding Officer, there is a strong link between premature death and poverty. And I could say lots about the consequences of the UK Government austerity on public health and the role of our economy in preventing excess mortality. However, for those with a terminal illness, we must also focus on the here and now and ensure that they have the support they need to have the best quality of life possible. Organisations across the country, including Marie Curie, offer vital support to people with a diagnosis of a terminal condition and equally to their loved ones. One key issue is tackling the double burden of income loss and increased cost of living expenditure brought on by a terminal illness. Marie Curie found that 2/3 of people with a terminal illness rely on benefits, so it is vital that we ensure sufficient support for people in this situation and indeed their carers. I would encourage people to contact their local money advice service or MSP to ensure they are getting everything they are entitled to, including through Social Security Scotland, which has a fast-track application process for people with a terminal illness, with the aim being to start payments within 7 working days. Research shows that most people would rather die at home. However, for many people with a terminal illness, that is not an easy choice. As the Dying in the Margin work notes, part of this, and particularly nowadays, is the cost of energy. The Scottish Government's Energy Minister, Gillian Martin, wrote to the UK Government this week in terms of the need for a new social tariff mechanism for energy windfall taxes, which would support the people who need it most. Too many people are struggling from sky-high energy bills, which are pushing more people into fuel poverty, and the UK Government must do more. For someone with an illness or disability, there are additional challenges. And as Marie Curie points out, people with a terminal illness often start to spend more time at home and also feel colder due to their symptoms, which means a greater need to heat their home too. In fact, research shows that average energy bills almost double following a diagnosis of motor neuron disease. I hope the UK Government listens to the calls for a social tariff to help with energy bills for those who need it most, and that this is announced soon. So to conclude, Presiding Officer, I commend all the people who took part in the Dying in the Margins research. I was certainly moved by the exhibition held in Glasgow, and that is also on display here in Parliament this week. Sadly, most of them are no longer with us, but I hope their actions help us to ensure we deliver the best possible support for people to prevent more of our citizens from dying in the margins. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Stevenson.